game position to play. And then his allies should just frontline for him while he just laser and missiles to victory.
That is the dream of every Tinker player, right? It's just being able to sit far back, get your spells off, and just be generally uninterrupted. But we will see. You know, Wildcard, could they live up to their potential, you know, their new org's name of being the Wildcard? EG has had a little bit of a shakier start, but as SVG mentioned on the panel, this is a team that, you know, takes a little while to warm up. They're fairly, you know, new with their slapping together of this roster. Not everybody playing from the same place, so...
I think it's the interesting thing about the EG games now is that now that they've dropped one set and they've looked a little bit shaky, if any other team can beat them, it's going to be absolutely catastrophic. It already put them in danger territory, but EG needs to basically just streak the rest of the season, not lose a single series. Otherwise, they are really going to be letting down their org, especially, and I'm sure themselves. So, yeah.
It's so harsh, right? You know, it's
that's what happens when you're basically the best NA team and one of the best teams in the world, right?
But when you change around with your rosters, like, you know, I feel like you should be allowed to have a little time, a little bit of, you know, cushion room to figure yourselves out, not immediately just go, oh my God, EG is garbage
but
now.
With that said, they should be figuring that out in scrims ahead of time.
True.
Before the DPC season begins. And if they're not scrimming other teams in the area, that's definitely going to cause that an issue. And at various times, I've heard rumors that EG doesn't want to play too many tournaments anyways, just to like not reveal strats because they think they're really strong. They don't necessarily want to let their opponents learn from them, that kind of thing. So, you know, it could be coming back to bite them a little bit with this roster swap and other issues.
Well, time will tell, and as will time within the game, see if EG is going to be able to clinch us out. It seems like everybody's pretty happy with the draft that we saw.
Oh, that's cool. They're actually lane swapping using Spirit Breaker here. He went top. Hoodwink's going to get last hits for now. He just ends up charging. And this is like a really efficient way to lane swap because normally you can't just cross the map, right? You have to like walk ahead of time, then you dodge your opponent's TPs. If their opponent tries to like lane swap, then Spirit Breaker just doesn't care. He's like, okay, no problem. I'm just going to TP with the rest of you.
Doesn't seem to be bothering the side of Wildcard too much, but it's going to make things a little bit more comfortable for the side of EG.
Yeah, they're going to have Monkey King against Timbersaw, which is a good matchup. And they won't have Timbersaw versus Spirit Breaker, which is another... it's basically like a completely different lane setup than they would have had otherwise. So good for them to lane swap it. So now it's basically standard. I assume that EG anticipated their opponents swapping the lanes, so they just made a slight gamble there and you know, only lost a few last hits on Spirit Breaker for it.
A little bit of harass coming out in the top lane. Like you said, the Monkey King being very effective against the Timbersaw. And Crit just plinking away, trying to, you know, get some denies off B, as annoying as possible. The middle lane, though, looks like it's slightly more favored towards Abed. He's taking advantage of the fact that every time that Esk tries to phase shift, he can get off some extra damage.
Nice orb there. 2 last hits and a harass. They'll grab their runes. So far, everything is going pretty good there.
You get one of the creeps picked up. We'll get the net from the Priest here, and a couple hits, just harassing.
It's a pretty big mistake by Sammy Boy to not have that camp blocked. In fact, he did put a sentry on it, but he must have gotten there a bit late or something to block that one. On the bright side, this is going to run out in about 8 seconds, but they're actually charging Luna. She's in a lot of trouble.
Yves is taking a lot of damage. They're body blocking using the troll. They need a little bit more damage, though. They don't quite have it, so a lot of harass getting used. He's going to get handed a tango. She's going to have to regen and be a little bit careful approaching that creep wave.
Yeah, that was tough. With the creep up, a little bit dangerous to hang out in the lane, but they had level 2 on Spirit Breaker. And now Jax also de-blocks the wave, so, or the camp that is, so doesn't quite respawn here. Abed chasing Esk here. Esk is going to have to walk to his bounty rune if he wants it. Oh, Alex took it.
Oh.
That's okay. He had a salve for him at least.
All right. Forgiven.
That could have been pretty catastrophic if he completely ran out of regen there.
Well, you assume that they're communicating well enough. It's a nice courier snipe, though, here from Crit. Will make Divine Llama's lane a little bit more difficult. Not super hard, but like we said, there's always a lot of just regen being ferried out back and forth throughout the lanes, especially now.
Yeah, you need that sometimes. It's not as bad for Timber typically because he's got regen built into his kit, but he also got his boots delivered before they got interrupted, so not the end of the world. But last hit wise, very even across the board. Everything is going pretty solid. A lot of denies coming from Monkey King, though. He was doing this really well early. 7 denies from Arteezy, and Crit also has 1. So 8 total denies against the Timbersaw. It's going to leave him a little bit under-leveled. It's going to hurt his laning stage a bit, and this is part of the reason he's just trying to pull creeps. Abed and the Puck are equal still, too. A little disable on Timber on the top lane, though. And never mind, nothing's going to happen.
Just seems...
JK. Oh, he wants to go in.
He's poking a little bit over at Arteezy, but...
The stun's gone, so he doesn't worry that much right now. His armor's really high. He can definitely take the hits. And then, as a result, Arteezy didn't get much heal out of it, so...
The bottom lane, the enchant slowing down Eves. They have a Centaur creep to get the stomp off. One more hit. And Jerax will take out the Luna.
It's a tough one here. I can't help but think that it's just like a Sammy Boy being new to 5 thing, but...
Can he make it out here? Waiting right forward. Yeah, okay, he'll survive, but he is going to have to walk home. He's got an empty bottle. And Abed's going to take advantage of all the space.
I'd have to rewatch the lane, see how it went for Jerax in terms of the camp stuff, but the fact that the camp was not blocked again and he gets a Centaur out of it is a really big issue. Because he's got level 2 enchant now, so it lasts for a massive 60 seconds. So he gets huge lane advantage from having a Centaur at that point. And his Luna's getting punished for it. That's the second time, well, first time Luna died.
Alex pops a fairy fire. Doesn't want to give this kill over to Arteezy, but Arteezy should be able to find it.
Nice try.
Got the amount of harass that Jerax is able to do with this Enchantress.
It's doing really good.
It's very annoying. Look at that. Sam, very, very low now. He's going to try to click away a little bit, but this is one of those heroes, right? That, you know, if you have a high skill player, which indeed, you know, Jerax is going to win the lane.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to the camping block, genuinely. So if you're a little bit new to 5, this can be something that really hurts your lane. Because the best way to beat it is don't let him get any easy creeps. Because the farther away he has to go to bring a creep, that means he has less time to fight with it. But if it's right next to the wave, he gets like a full 30 seconds, and that's really what loses you the lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Sam trying to break some ankles over here. Jerax is getting harassed right back, though, by Eves.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nightfall going underneath this tower. He's going to be careful.
This is what I've always wanted. Oh, I'm so happy.
He's so down to fight, dude. 31 last hits, more than the 25 of Luna. Literally all justified from what Jerax has accomplished so far.
Well, the harass has been intense. We've seen a lot of times where they either sit very low or they get a kill in the bottom lane, which is not how you want that lane to go.
See how he transitions his nice laning stage. Luna's still going normal farm build, so she'll be fine if she needs to jungle a little bit earlier, assuming she doesn't get pressured too much. And some nice stack clearing. This is something that was done really effectively against Nigma earlier today, is that they blocked this large camp from being stacked on the other side, because Puck clears these so early. Crit trying to move in and get wards down.
They'll use the Dream Coil, though, so this will be a... Eventually, after a couple clicks here, is hoping to get that denial, gets the courier at least.
That was spooky.
Oh, in the bottom lane though, Sam also sitting very low. Nightfall charging in underneath these. Walks right into Sam, gives him one tap. Says, hey there, Sam.
Pressure continues. So Luna's net worth is a little low, but it's not catastrophic by any means. Definitely not. Lane is not over, but Jerax is doing a great job. 1-0 and 1 on him. Tons of lane pressure. He's going to have boots of speed shortly here. Sports on the EG side are just more farmed, period. But Puck has got a pretty good net worth. Those stacks that he's clearing is keeping his net worth higher than his opponents. And there's the value of the aura. You can see really far at nighttime. That's the only reason he doesn't get charged there.
Jerax already going to have to use those sprites, but Crit making his own rotation. A good bushwhack. We'll slow them down with the acorn shot. Couple of clicks coming through. There's a charge also coming in, but I'm not sure it's going to make it in time. No. Nightfall is just going to keep on running. Sees himself. Sam, he's going to use that nether strike and just click away here.
Okay. Pressure continues. Oh man, Luna's net worth is looking bad now though. She has to TP to the top lane, and now she's running up to pressure the tier 1 tower, which is one way. This is all comes down to, in a lot of ways, probably not ensuring that that large camp got blocked. Makes a huge deal. The Llama is getting good farm, though. He's unpressured as well. So they've got good stuff going for them on their 2 cores. If Timber's really farmed and Puck is really farmed, that means that Timber should be able to pressure top lane all the time. And Puck should be able to get some rotations with with Puck's supports. If they can put pressure on Tinker or even Arteezy, this could do a lot to offset this gold advantage EG's working with.
Alex gonna get that boulder toss over, follow with the bushwhack, and they're gonna just charge right through the trees.
Wow, great.
Good disruption, buys him a bit more time, but of course they do have other creeps hot on his tail, keeping track of him. So they're gonna go right underneath the trees here, find Alex, another bushwhack, and you're not safe in the trees.
Wonder if he should just kept running there. Maybe thought SB ulti would be active or something, but still a good attempt to live, but maybe shouldn't have came bottom. Hard to say, but the creep wave will die. They don't have the best tower pressure outside of enchant creeps, so they'll get this though. Top tier 1 is already dead, so that's gonna help offset things for Wildcard Gaming. And yeah, this is a really good idea. I mean, this creep wave has, or this tower has so much HP, he might as well defend this damn thing. Like, he's got all this net worth from before, offset the advantages that your opponents are gonna get by letting them have it. Don't let them have it for free, basically.
And they don't have the greatest ways of being able to deal with the Vylama on the Timbersaw right now either, so might as well park him in the bottom lane, protect the tower, and some pressure mounting over here on this mid lane. You can see that Crit's kind of wandering through. And Jerax is looking for some creeps, looking for anything that he can kind of steal or whatnot. But of course, he is running into 3. Oh, 4. Make that 4 now. So the Waning Rift. Jerax maybe a little bit too deep here, as Eves will continue to farm up the camp and find himself a nice neutral item.
Yeah, that one's maybe not the best moment for them, unfortunately, but
Maybe just a little bit too far of a scouting mission.
yeah, was he? Yeah, he had a sentry ward on his body, so maybe just looking to block camps, but.
Esk just gonna go, dive away. A couple hits though, Nightfall. Another strike coming in. Sam though throwing out Nightmare.
A lot of bashes.
Indeed, Esk should be able to survive this. Sam though, oh, the bushwhack. He's got Nightfall here, and you've got Abed, so he's gonna die for his core, as a good 5 should. Although Alex, I thought they were gonna make a play there.
And that's the important thing. Blink is online now for Tinker, so he's going to show up to these engagements pretty survivable. Doesn't have to worry about the Timber that much either. As long as he dodges Timber Chain or the ultimate, he'll be able to get out scot-free. So pretty strong over there. And Spirit Breaker, despite being messed with a little bit by disruption or stuns or whatever else, he's felt pretty effective. Like once he dodged the puck, like once it phase shift dodged the charge, I was like, okay, Spirit Breaker's not going to feel good, but man, he just gets a bash here or there, and it really makes a big difference.
Just gotta pray that you get the triple bash, right, like they had against Arteezy before.
Yeah,
Absolutely unreal.
That's really good stuff if you can get it. All right, tower pressure comes again. Shadow Demon's going to try to slow this down. Javai Lama not available this time. No TP scroll on him, so we will not be seeing him defend the tower.
He's throwing his weight around, though, over in the mid lane. Bottom lane, though, another disruption from Alex, buying a bit more time, but Arteezy with this rotation will continue to hunt Alex, and he will fall.
It's nice to see monkeys get involved like this. This is a really good way to guarantee the tower when it's not a Timber. So fast Echo Saber, treads, easy kill, clear the tower. And now they're trying to take mid of their own.
I mean, that's what you have to do, right? When you see that you've got that many people paying attention to the bottom tower, is try to take advantage of that space, but they get the bottom tower, and you can see EG trying to push them off. They're not going to be successful, though, and that is one thing that they do have to be careful of, right, is the fact that Tinker wants these towers to be up so that way he can push out lanes, he can get what he needs.
Yeah, that's true. They just don't have necessarily the best safe counter push. Enchantress isn't very good at it. Hoodwink is okay at it, but he usually takes a bunch of points of your Q. And as a support, usually you max out Bushwhack first, so you can have better stun duration and damage on the stun. Tinker doesn't want to do it either. A little bit dangerous.
Little bit, and this Enchantress, though, a couple points in those sprites, is going to get eventually just nuked down here, but does make them work for it with 3 heroes having to commit onto it.
But Gold Graph is even. There's better map control generally for Wildcard Gaming, but in the late game, EG's relatively happy. Tinker is going to be stronger and stronger as the game continues, and he's on an okay path. In fact, his net worth has actually kind of fallen off a bit. He's only had that 1 assist so far. Normally, Tinkers love to get into a couple kills, but with that mid-tier 1 tower dead, he doesn't have the best places. There aren't necessarily like big towers. Like ideally, if you can have your perfect universe, you TP to defend your mid tower or your safe lane tower with a Blink Dagger, and then you get like a double kill or something like that. That accelerates you a lot, because you don't quite farm as fast on this hero as you used to. Laser's still great, but it's not quite the same as March of the Machines. So he really does want to participate in kills, if possible. Save the raindrop. No!
It's fine.
Like
It's fine.
So creep waves across the map are relatively even. Luna's farming pretty well. I gotta say, Arteezy's net worth is going great though. He's just getting some great separation. This is basically because it took a while for Luna to succeed in her lane. This ancient stack could change things up for her, maybe put her at Arteezy's level, but the fact that Arteezy got so many points in Jingu Mastery and not that many in Primal Spring really just shows he's done a great job this game collecting net worth, that he's still ahead of all these players.
It feels like he wasn't really harassed as hard, for sure, when he was having his laning stage, whereas the Luna definitely felt pressured. It was a little bit difficult for her to move around, but again, it's a Luna. This is one of those heroes that has that built-in mechanic to be able to farm and take building stacks, what have you, very, very quickly, as long as she's remained undisturbed. So it'll be interesting to see if EG tries to put some more pressure on the Luna. I assume they know exactly where he's going to be, especially when it shows on the wave like this, but if they're going to have that priority of trying to keep Eves down the entire time or not.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a big deal. And that makes sense to me. Sammy Boy might be in trouble here.
Throw out another net, another strike. Jerax is here. We'll follow up with the Dream Coil, though. Esk joining into the fight does have the double damage, so the snap over on the Spirit Breaker. Nightfall is going to be taken out as the follow-up over onto the Tinker. They get the Fiend's Grip off. They need a couple more hits, and Esk finds himself a double kill.
What a grip there by Sammy Boy. Grabs the Tinker in that little skirmish that looked pretty good for EG. That sharpshooter got Luna real low, but what a big grab. If it was just Spirit Breaker, maybe a support, I'm not too bothered by that engagement, but Wildcard opens up the map a bit, and that's going to slow down Abed's Ag's timing. And his net worth is below Spirit Breakers right now.
I know that Arteezy's down here, but there is a charge on Sam right now. Arteezy is going to wind up with the ultimate, get a couple nice hits off. It's going to be the Nightmare buying Sam a little bit more time as Crit joins in, but we'll manage to get the bushwhack off. Oh, the Boundless coming in from outside of the screen. Divine Llama now just trying to cut away over onto Crit. See the Yules coming into play. The Timber Chain over up to the high ground.
Nicely done. Arteezy trying to save resources there and it ended up making the kill a little harder, but basically cost Crit his life because Crit tried to go in to clean up the kill as well. So a little mistake for Arteezy there, but hey, the only person that loses net worth is the support, so does he mind? Probably not.
Probably not.
They also have SD plus Luna. That part's pretty cool for Wildcard Gaming. It's a little bit of a classic combo, but it's going to give them a little bit more carry potential than usual. But Laser Blind should be pretty effective.
Not so tanky looking when you've got the burst damage like that. My goodness.
Game's looking a little goofy here for EG. Slowly losing advantage. Not really the best team for initiators is like part of the issue, because like ideally EG wants to like charge a guy and get a combo, or they want to find a guy and get a combo. I almost wonder if like they're trying to use Monkey King ideally to be that like invis like person, get vision on your opponents so that your allies can follow up, kind of a thing. But if he does this, he's going to get behind a net worth.
Yeah, I feel like that's so weird, right? Because I think we see it a lot with the Monkey Kings being run in support. Be it, you know, I can't tell you how many times that I've just seen the Monkey Kings in this part of the jungle, right? When you're on the Radiant side, like trying to get information. But if he's just spending all the time in the trees, you're not hitting creeps. And there's a Luna who already has taken over the net worth now. Yeah,
just slightly ahead of him now. He still hasn't died, but yeah, he's got to be careful in moving around like this because he does not want to get picked off here. In the meantime, Timbersaw gets to play as aggressive as possible, spotting things out. Puck finds the Hoodwink. Hoodwink looks very dead.
Indeed it does.
So very normal stuff for Puck. The Witchblade build, brown boots into BOTs. So what every Puck is building right now. Feels like the old classic days of Puck about a year ago, where Witchblade first got really popular. But it's working just fine. Maybe not a first pick hero or anything, but still effective. And then very wisely, what they are doing is they're across the enemy to the enemy side of the map to take their resources as well. Don't let them get as much on the map.
I'm trying to make some plays over to Esk. It's a lot of burst damage, so Drop the Dream Coil, doesn't really matter too much as Divine Llama running away, not gonna be able to quite connect on the Bushwhack, so.
Radiant's
That's a big one.
Going for a charge here. They found themselves Sam instead, so they'll be happy with taking out a Bane.
That was a big one. 600 gold goes to Tinker with that engagement here. Now Luna's sprinting for her life.
Well, she's just got that BKB. She doesn't want to have to use it defensively, but Arteezy hunting in the trees, looking for Luna.
Did not see her there.
He's gonna hang tight to the tower along with Divine Llama, but starting to see that net worth here move around a little bit more. As EG's placing pressure over on the middle tower, they'll go with the fortification on the side of Wildcard. And EG's just gonna back off. Almost have that Ags completed now for Abed. Just another big item timing.
Jarek's doing his best to control the map, but with Wildcard all alive again, making sure that these lanes are pushed out is a little bit dangerous. But Jarek's is doing still a great job with vision type stuff. The tier 1 tower still up. Oh, he does actually accidentally show on a range peek. A little bit of a mistake there.
It's going to be a little bit of an engagement as they jump over onto Divine Llama. The break landing on Sam, though. Divine Llama seems perfectly fine with this. He doesn't seem too concerned. He's just going to hang out in the area. They have the vision. Realize that the Timber Saw is still nearby. A little bit more burst, though, and it's a little bit smaller looking here.
I just love how aggressive he's playing so far. Devi is very applicable.
Eves has got the Lucent Beam, but the Tinker nearby. Gonna throw out a bunch of these missiles.
Okay.
But not quite enough damage as
Think
it's
I
a
caught
wild card. They're hunting for Abed. They're looking
in trouble.
for him here. They've got the Orb, they'll get the Dream Coil, the Fiend's Grip. Everything is gonna get used on this Tinker. And he'll pay for poking on that Luna.
Yep. That extra missile that he shot against Bane might have actually hurt him. It could have cost him a rearm there, which would have given him another blink. If he had one more blink, he would have survived no problem, but that heat-seeking missile may be too much. He's got the eggs finished. It's not the end of the world, but 5k gold advantage now grows.
I feel like we haven't had a full out fight yet. I feel like it's just a bunch of little picks here and there, just trying to make space right for both of the cores. Right now, Luna and the Puck sitting 10k net worth. Actually, all 3 cores on the side of Wildcard, just finding this farm.
Which makes sense. Yeah, they won their laning stage, basically. They have net worth advantage right now. So they just want to farm the enemy side of the map. That means it makes it so much easier to outmaneuver your opponents. And Timber's like the best hero for playing aggressive like this. Because he just stands on the other side of the map. He's got Yules to protect himself, to Timber chain away if somebody tries to interrupt it. This could be his calling card, though.
Oh, they're trying to punish him for being so bold, and they do have plenty with that break with the Hoodwink. So they'll be able to take down Divine Llama, and he might have to play a little bit more carefully, but at the same time, it did take 5 heroes, Sam, with that sleep. He's gonna just try to walk away, get over to his tower, the laser, and the rocket's coming in hot.
Just barely on the range, but he's got keen optic. Very nicely done. All right, so every kill that Tinker gets, the world gets scarier for Wildcard.
I just enjoy every time he uses his laser, and it's Shrink Ray, right? Like
Shadow Demon gank, side lane.
yeah. Alex will get held into the trees of the Bushwhack, so Crit will collect a kill.
Yeah, Arteezy doing the same thing. We have advantage, you have dead heroes, I'm going to stand on your side of the map, look for kills, and farm your creeps. Cuts the wave, he'll do the Ancients after this, and just makes it harder for them to play.
They go for the smoke play, and immediately is broken by Nightfall here. He's got a double damage. Jump forward here from Ask the Poke. But they won't commit on it. Nightfall, though, rolling right on in. They break the tree, though, over on Arteezy. But do they have the damage? They've got the Fiend's Grip. They're going to hold him into place for a little bit longer. Eve's trying to get off some of this damage. They want to take advantage of the clips coming out. They'll end up losing Sam. Eves, though, gets the kill on Arteezy as Esk now blinks away from 4 heroes over here on the side. A couple of them being held into place with the Dream Coil. They need a little bit more damage onto Nightfall, and they just don't have the vision. So their next target's going to be Abed as they go zipping on through. They don't have anything yet. No, they do. They have the advantage. They have the Lucent Beam. They're going to be able to take out Abed. And Divine Llama gets right back to the area that he had claimed earlier, while the rest of Wildcard run into the Roche Pit.
What a fight for Wildcard. And EG basically just getting punished so bad by Arteezy getting stunned like that. He popped BKB before it ends up getting stunned, so it wasn't the worst. But basically, and the grip got interrupted too, but by the time all that's done, he gets his ulti off and it's like your BKB's gone and he just dies to Eclipse, basically. So that was not the way that EG wants to take that fight. And Puck getting that huge Dream Coil in the backline also made a big difference.
Yeah,
Helps them chase them down.
The separation of the fight just looked so well done by Wildcard. In fact, we get the replay of it here.
So there's RTZ jumping in. He got spotted because he had pulled creeps into this position, and there we go, ends up getting killed by the Whirling Death. BKB is active, he gets gripped, he's going to channel his ulti and get a stun off, which is a great way to start the fight. But yeah, Eclipse just cleans him up. 2-man with the coil there. Abed's going to blink away. Nightfall invis, so they can't get that kill, but the fact that they got him with that Eul's was huge. They just needed the stun. They had a couple, and yeah, another kill on the Tinker.
Sam's feeling real good about it. Also looks a little cold since he's wearing his jacket inside the house, but I'm sure that fight's warmed him up a bit.
How are things looking now? Abed's net worth is still looking pretty not great. He's literally struggling with a Spirit Breaker to hit creeps. And this could be like one of those things where like his team farms so effectively that there's just less resources on the map. But like I can't say that he's been playing Tinker poorly or anything. Like his team hasn't gotten that many kills, but it just feels like he doesn't have that much farm potential. Like his total net worth is just not that high.
It just feels like there's been so much movement happening, and like it's weird because I feel like we haven't focused that hard on Arteezy because he's been able to go and just hit the creeps, but it just hasn't felt like there's this momentum building for the side of EG, which I think is a bit rough considering that they've got this particular lineup. You know, you've got such great ganking potential in the form of a Tinker, in the form of, you know, the Spirit Breaker.
Tinker's more of like he definitely helps in ganks, but he's more of like I'm ready to show up once the fight has began, and then I'll just add damage. They definitely have gank hero potential, but after losing the laning stage a bit, it's kind of made things a bit rough. So then they sit around and they wait for their timing, right? They get the BKB timing on Monkey King, they look for a fight, it didn't end up happening, and then later they did have a fight and it went bad. So it's like they're probably going to aim for another timing window where they feel like they're a little stronger, but it's tough now with the Aegis because Luna's going to start pressuring high ground.
There's one thing you know about a Luna in the mid game, it's that if she can start cracking into that base, those buildings disappear so fast.
Radiant structures are fortified.
See, TP's Esk in a really good position here if he needs to get the jump on anyone. Throw the bushwhack out over onto Luna. They've got the charge in, but Esk jumping over to the back lines. Get the break off on Luna. Oh, Crib is sitting very, very low. Nightfall now trying to find this open, trying to see the right angle. As there it is. He sees the Luna. So that's going to be the Aegis. But coming right back up again. Nightfall so slow here as Arteezy joining back in. They have the Fiend's Grip. It's a good cancel. Are they going to be able to keep Nightfall alive? No, they're not, because Divine Lava with that chain going right through, cutting him into pieces. Going to just walk away now. They no longer have Aegis. They forced out the BKB. They've got a couple kills. Eve's thinking about going back in again, starting to go and hit on all these creeps because they know that it's very difficult for EG to find this opening. Like we said, it's hard to find that initiation when you're fighting into these guys, but they use the disruption, make a couple illusions, and EG has determined that's enough for now.
Yeah, it's too hard at this point to continue. Losing the Aegis already makes things a bit iffy, so it was an okay trade for EG. They do lose net worth from this because they had to spend a lot of time counter-pushing rather than farming themselves, and Wildcard really didn't lose that much, just the Aegis, so like a little 2-minute window. But it does buy them time to delay this until the next phase of their timing windows, which is, I don't know, probably Hex on Tinker. That'll make it a lot easier to gank, actually, because then you've got Chain Hex, and just about anybody's going to die to that.
We see that Aether Lens picked up now for Bane. It's a very, very strong hero right now. Oh gosh, Jerax! They've got the Flamethrower online for Divine Lava, and he's just going to get himself some cooked venison here.
He's doing great. Oh no, the
creep!
They're healing him.
Oh god!
You can't beat that creep, Timber. It's not possible.
He's too powerful. And yeah, he's at the point where he can just stand here, hit the tower, and
yeah, Flamethrower and his creeps come, basically.
Yeah.
Just gonna help him kill towers here. Taking map control away. Like, it's so difficult for EG to contest the Roche from here on out, because if they get this tier 2 tower as well, their closest TP point is like their base.
yeah, that's pretty difficult.
All they got to do is outmaneuver, and especially on the Radiant side of the map, it's already easier to control Roche, so EG's just in a really bad position right now from the Dire side. They want to slow down potential Roche stuff, but It's not looking great.
They're getting into position. Jerax shows himself. Timber Chain coming out. Devices. I've seen this before. Jerax also seen this before. Dying. They use the BKB though. Nightfall trying to get this opening, but again, Sam went for that grip. Not going to be able to quite connect as they follow up. Device just scoots on by. I'm not sure what was happening in that other window. I got very confused there for a second. I'm guessing that was what was Tinker doing.
Do not know. All I saw
cool.
with that was that Spirit Breaker initiated a bit to try to cover Enchantress, ends up getting gripped again, and that's the problem hero on the EG side. That's the guy that can run in and do stuff. He didn't go greedy item build really. He went Shadow Blade, he got BKB, but Enchantress dying twice in a row like that, really costly there. But Devi is doing so good. He's just really exerting his net worth advantage on his opponents.
I mean, this is a guy who, you know, I was talking with Robson. He's like, you got to watch out for Devi Llama's Timber Saw. This guy's a beast on it. And you can definitely see why if he starts having that really nice laning phase and gets just basically allowed to do what he likes.
He's very, very difficult to kill is the other thing. Like, they've got great damage on the EG side. I mean, they've got Veil from Hoodwink. Hoodwink has a huge amount of nuke damage. Tinker has a huge amount of nuke damage, but everything else is difficult. Like, yeah, you can break him or whatever, and you've got some pure damage, but he's also got a lot of raw HP, so he's just doing a great job. And every time he gets in trouble, he instantly Timber Chain Ulises himself to get out. It's very clean. He's been doing it more than almost any other Timber I've seen.
You just have to commit so much to this Timber. It's going to be even harder now, too, when you see he's got a Lotus Orb picked up, so you have to be very careful about what you're going to use on him. And then to follow up, you've also got a Scotty online. Like, look at this guy. He's just no fear at all.
Good Scotty game, especially once he gets Shard here. It'll be easy to apply it to Tinker or Enchantress or even like Spirit Breaker or Monkey. That's going to be the goal, really. Because Luna, it's a little bit hard for Luna to get aggressive this game. It's hard to get to the backlines, but with the Shard, it's going to be easy to apply those debuffs and use this huge net worth advantage against his opponents.
Now, on the flip side of things, RTZ has picked up his own Scotty, so that's going to make it a little bit easier for him as well. But it definitely feels like the momentum right now in favor of Wildcard. Look at Jarek just, ooh. All right, this time, though, this has got to be the time. This is when they can take down this Timber. They got the breakout. The Lotus Orb's not going to do anything, so Nightfall finally getting to take out Devi Llama. And Sammy, look at this RTZ. He smells blood in the water. The Nightmare is going to get used, immediately charging out. Couple of hits, the silence, the bushwhack, just to make sure that he can't go any further, and RTZ will cut down Bane.
Nicely done. That time they get him. So Timber goes down, now they hit the back lines, not much else that can be done. They're going to check Roshan, but it could respawn in 30 seconds. Probably won't. So as long as Rosh doesn't respawn in the next minute, they should be okay here. What's up?
Just the way that Alex like popped out of nowhere and you heard the disruption, I was just like, what the?
It's like one of those things where your teammates happen to blink directly at you and you like get so spooked.
It's one of those moments where you're like, where the heck did he come from?
See if he saves for buyback on Luna. I assume that's going to be the case here. He actually needs 800 gold to pick it up. And Rocha is going to respawn in about a minute here, so.
Looks like they're going to go for a smoke play with the way that they're grouped up on the side of Wildcard.
Only downside is that Timber isn't quite up yet, so they might want to wait until a bit later, but if they can just get one pick off, that wouldn't be terrible either.
Now there are a lot of EG heroes grouped together for this positioning, so Wildcard has to play this so carefully. I mean, Jerax is showing, so Esk will jump forward, and they'll be able to pick off one. Oh, they go for a second smoke, a double damage rune too. Esk hands over the bottle to Eves.
It's a good one.
There's already Devi Llama. He's cut down a tree. He's going to try to harass this Monkey King, and they don't have anything to cancel out his TP, but they do manage to find crit. So, despite a really nice bushwhack over onto 2, still going to lose the Hoodwink.
If they would have gripped RTZ, it would have been insane, but still, this is so good for them.
A Dream Coil gets used. There's the Hex, though, coming out from Abed. So, not quite what I think they wanted.
Nice bait.
The battlefield's no
Great bait, mate.
He knew that Monkey didn't have BKB, so he goes and plays a little aggressive bottom. Puck goes for the solo kill, and it was a trick. Tinker shows up with his Hex. Super, super easy kill. And that was a pretty big mistake, actually, because now Roche is alive. They could have potentially began Roche right now, and they will, it looks like, even without Puck. If EG ends up contestants, I'm sure he'll buy back right away. But maybe they can get it without needing to. As long as Sam kind of plays in the middle here,
They're coming though. Okay, well Sam is going to be the one who ends up eating this rotation, but they got to go fast here. They've got the double damage over on Eves. There's going to be the buyback now coming out from Bane. A good disruption from Alex. The Hex comes out. It's too late though. They've already got the Aegis online here for Eves, and that Eclipse is doing so much work. They'll kill Arteezy. They're chasing after Nightfall. This puck clicking away. Massive buybacks coming out from the side of Wildcard. They're hungry. They want some more damage, but they're going to have to close the gap, and they'll find themselves an Enchantress off here to the side. They'll wait patiently. They know that the rest of the team should be able to clean up on Jerax. And just like that, they take a successful Roche just in the nick of time and follow up with buybacks to go and take out several of the EG heroes.
It looked really scary, but the great disruption that they caught. Oh, he sees him.
He's waiting patiently here. There's a buyback from Nightfall. Sam getting to position. They've got the Waning Rift. A couple clicks should do the trick. And they go right on into the base. Already Eve's just cutting away here. They'll use the fortification. Some of these rockets getting tossed out. We'll push back. But again, this is the power of Aluna in the mid game. Leave and go, put out a couple more illusions here, thanks to that disruption, and they can just walk back. Not sure why Sam's so forward here, perhaps thinking he can get himself a nice grip. Should they come forward, another bushwhack. We'll just hold the Lunas in place. Sharpshooter does connect over on Luna, but she has the Aegis. So there's a decent amount of damage just getting tossed out over at Eves. Nice little disruption play from Alex to avoid those final hits.
Sammy Boy's just very used to hitting buildings. That's all. It's just in his blood. So hard to break that. No, with that
It is
said,
weird to see him as a 5, honestly.
He was pretty far up. But the upside is that they had a dead hero on the enemy team. Their carry was dead. So if he can get a grip or a nightmare on somebody, it can be huge. There they are going in. Disruption's going to buy them more than enough time here. They got some Monkey King illusions. There's no BKB up on the monkey, so he just dies so easily there. And that's Shard for Luna for free. They got Aegis, and now use the Aegis to take the mid racks. They end up cleaning up Crit. That's how that started. He just happened to give a little tap to the Hoodwink, and Hoodwink had to run all the way home. So, yeah, big fight for Wildcard here.
Satanic on line 2. Man, Eves is just stacked right now on this Luna.
He is.
They have a lot of freedom.
And he's got Titan Sliver too. Perfect item.
Perfect item.
Still a lot of magic damage, or pure damage, sorry, coming out of Tinker, but...
They're hoping, they're fishing here, like they've got a nice ward in that middle lane. If anybody shows up a Wildcard, they're not taking this bait. Something is up. They realize no one is showing in these lanes. So they're gonna move together as a unit. We'll put Divine Llama forward here. They've got a gem online, so they're just ripping down this Vision. Esk looking for the opening, but he has that link. It's a jump down on Dream Coil over to the back lines, and the Beat Script over on GTs with the follow-up with a beautiful disruption. The Boundless coming through. They've got the Hex, but there's so much damage coming out from Eves with that Lucer Eclipse. Oh my word. And they're not even done. They want Jerax. Look at Divine Llama. They're trying to find him. They've got the dust. They've got the kill. And EG just taps out. They can't deal with Wildcard.
Dude, what a game for Wildcard. They must be so jacked right now. What excellent play. They did great in the laning stage. They transitioned that very well. They just pressured the map. They played a